Hi and welcome everyone to the 11th episode of The Little Inside. My name is still Tobi, and this week we are going to talk about the crucial subject of looking through the spiritual ego. Let's get started right after the intro. You might have heard that question before. Someone might have asked you already. Now, honestly, what do you really want? Why are you on this path? What is it that connects all of us? Now, there's a common denominator for all of us, I think, in terms of motivation on the spiritual path. We all want the same thing, really, which is happiness. We all want to feel good. There's nobody that will naturally go after suffering or trying to feel bad, or trying to actually experience pain. People in this world are all after the same thing. We all want to feel happy. This is also very true if you are on the spiritual path. If you are walking the spiritual path and you do so because of the promise that it will make you happier, that it will fulfill you, it will give you a better life, and so forth. So this kind of honesty is really required. Upon seeing that, things get really simple. I am doing this because I want to be happy, and so is everyone else on the spiritual path. I'm doing this because I sense discomfort. There's too many thoughts, there's too much stress in my life, there is too much suffering, however you want to call it, and this is really what moves me on the spiritual path. I want to feel better about myself, I want to relax, I want to transcend suffering, I want to become enlightened, whatever it is this kind of desire for more happiness. So I would say what unites most of us is this pursuit for more happiness. And we are looking within the world of the six senses, that is our intellect, this is our eyes, our ears, etc. We're looking in that kind of sensual world for fulfillment. So we are looking for nice views, good things to see. We want to hear good things, we want to be praised. We don't want to hear criticism from other people, and so forth. So this is what kind of unites really all of us, looking for happiness in the sensual world. Why do you want to be spiritual? Why do you want to meditate? What is it that really, really moves you? And to really answer that question, we have to learn to look in all honesty at ourselves. And so for most of us, it is quite true that we are translating our desire to find fulfillment in the world of the six senses onto a spiritual path. And before really having attained any serious goals on that spiritual path, we want to be someone. We want to be a someone on that path. I'm a traditionalist. I like a very authentic path, for example, or I am someone that is very serious about my spiritual path, or I'm someone that really likes positive thinking a lot. I really like positive thinking, and I like creating, visualizing, seeing beautiful imaginations of my future and contemplating that. So there's these different kind of personas that are emerging out of the wish to be a someone on that spiritual path. To connect that back to what I said right before, that we all wish to be happy, then why would we like to be a someone on the spiritual path? For precisely the same reason. We want to be a someone on a spiritual path because other people are looking at us, they are receiving us, they are judging us. And most of all, probably our own selves. We are most judgmental of ourselves and so forth. So we try to portray as someone that we would find to be very agreeable and very good onto ourselves, so we can feel good about ourselves and we can show ourselves to other people, like I am presentable. Look, the spiritual path in that case is nothing more but a costume that we are wearing. It is not actually a real spiritual path. You're not practicing for the sake of attaining more inner happiness by becoming a refuge for yourself, but you're actually practicing that precise spiritual path which should lead you within to show something to other people or to get something from other people in return. So that would be the building block of the spiritual ego. So you have all these kind of different personas that emerge on a spiritual path, and they're really quite funny actually. And that's, I think, how we can take them with a good dose of humor. To see ourselves, first of all, with great honesty. To see, well, that's who I am. I'm out there trying to be loved by everyone else, and I try to accomplish that with the spiritual path. Or, look, I'm out there portraying a certain image into the world, which then can be, just like on Facebook, which then can be liked, which can be validated by other people. So this is the function of the spiritual ego. And you show yourself out there to a world so that you can be receiving love and validation in return. See, it has nothing to do with a real, honest and authentic spiritual path. Now, what is it that makes a spiritual path really honest and authentic? Let's have a look into that. I want to become a scholar, or I am a traditionalist, and so forth. But that's, as I said before, not what the spiritual path is all about. The spiritual path is about seeing and breaking through those patterns, actually. Seeing that why are you doing what you do? Why are you saying what you say? And also, we're not trying to find out what it is by thinking about ourselves, by contemplating, well, in my past, I was an abused child, and maybe therefore I'm right now on the spiritual path and trying to get more love and attention from others. That's not really the way, but actually in this very moment, right now, right here, if you become aware of your body and your mind, and you are able, through good practice, to sustain your awareness for a little while, then you look at yourself silently, seeing what really goes on. And you will see all those faces arising and passing within your own mind. And that's what I call looking at yourself with honesty, being able to actually catch the persona as it arises, and not kind of slipping into the persona, becoming the persona, portraying a persona, rather being able to see it, to look through it actually. That's just a condition that arises because it feels a lack of love. It wants to be loved, it wants to be seen, it wants to portray something, it wants to show something. And if you can catch that before you actually become it, then you can see it arise and you can see it pass. And by that, you're actually weakening these kind of habitual tendencies of the egoic construct in the mind. And that helps actually to become, I would even say, to become closer to yourself, to be more comfortable with yourself, you can say that. Because, to be honest, to wear all of these masks and all of these costumes, whether they're spiritual or worldly, it's the same weight. If you wear a heavy kind of chain around your body, and on the chain is written, this chain is very spiritual, or this chain is very worldly, it doesn't make any difference to the weight of the chain. It's just the label, really. But what's important on an authentic internal path is to free yourself from those chains. And that happens if you become aware of them. You become aware that this kind of binding or this feeling tense as soon as you're portraying something that you are not. So that requires a great honesty and quite a high degree of ability to introspect into yourself, to really look at what is actually going on in your mind. And that takes a good while to actually discover these patterns for most people. It took me a very long time before I could even slightly see that I was mostly living some pretense on the spiritual path, that I wasn't real about myself. And I was always wondering, like, why am I feeling uncomfortable around other people, other spiritual practitioners? What is it that makes me so uncomfortable? And it's really easy to know, actually. If you look at yourself, then you will also discover that what is it that makes you feel uncomfortable around other people? What is it that makes you open your eyes and look around you at other meditators in the room? What is it that makes you compare yourself with the perfect master and always feel kind of incapable of doing anything really, and so forth? What is it really? And it takes time, stillness, quietude. You need to really sit down and do the work, the very basic work. You need to work on the foundations. That's what I am doing. That's what I think everybody who is really honest about or passionate about their spiritual path. That's what everyone is doing. It is about honestly looking at yourself, honestly seeing, why am I in it? What do I really want from it? And out of that, I would say, honest happiness arises, and that is way better than any spiritual mask, any spiritual persona. It is an authentic comfort to be within your own skin. So now we are coming to the end of the 11th episode of The Little Inside, and I hope to see you again next Wednesday. If you do have any questions, please write them down in the comment section below, or send me an email. And well, I look forward to seeing you all again next Wednesday. Take care, have a great week. Bye-bye.